Green doesn't begin with accusations. Instead, he carefully lays a foundation. He walks the witness through their credentials in criminal justice, then gets them to agree on a principle that seems almost impossible to dispute. If a law enforcement officer commits a crime, that officer should be investigated and prosecuted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I say it sincerely. I believe this is a most valuable hearing, and I'm honored that the ranking member would be here with us to accommodate us, as is the case with you. Mr. Alliance, is it true that you have a criminal justice degree, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice?
Yes, sir, it is.
Is it also true that you have a master's degree in criminal justice leadership?
Yes, I do.
And would you, as a professional with 2 degrees in criminal justice, indicate to us that if an officer commits murder, that officer should be prosecuted?
Sir, any law enforcement misconduct needs to be investigated and prosecuted.
Investigated and prosecuted. And have you seen the widely published video of the killing of Mr. Alex Preddy?
Yes, sir.
And sir, my assumption is that if I ask you whether this was an injustice, you would say you cannot comment because of an ongoing investigation. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
And what is the rationale for not responding to an ongoing investigation?
Sir, I don't want to impede or prejudice the investigation.
No, not this one. Any, as in your profession now, but any investigation. What's the rationale? Not this one, any.
Same for any investigation, sir. I don't want to.
You would not want
I don't want to
tell us-
bias or put my finger on the scale of any investigation.
You not. What's the rationale for your not testifying about it is my question.
I don't understand your question, sir.
What does the law say? What is the rationale? What harm would it do if you testified?
Because I don't have the full facts of the case yet, sir.
Exactly, that's what I expected you to say. You don't have the full facts, thank you. And I assume you would agree with this, Mr. Scott, is this true?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Edlow, you would agree?
I assume so. I'm not a professional in law enforcement.
Well, but you're a
attorney.
professional person with a degree of intellect such that you can comment on whether or not.
I
this
certainly
cause
would
harm.
not comment on anything.
Not a specific case. We're talking about now any case. Would you agree that it would cause harm for you to testify before there's an investigation?
Certainly without having all the facts.
All right, surely you would agree. Which brings us to Secretary Noem. Secretary Noem accused Mr. Preddy of brandishing a firearm while wishing to inflict harm on the officers. Secretary Noem. Same rules that apply to you apply to Secretary Noem. Accused this gentleman, Mr. Preddy, of brandishing a firearm. Secretary Noem doing this when she did without an investigation. We have to agree that there's not been an investigation. I don't think I have to ask you that. Not a complete investigation that we know of anyway. She did it right afterwards. Having done this, she is violating this very basic principle that you have called to our attention today. And we have to ask ourselves, why would she go so far as to say brandishing when he did not? The video will clearly show it. And she said wishing to inflict harm. Did not inflict any harm. But the secretary, without an investigation, made these comments. I'll tell you why. The secretary was in a rush to cover up, to make sure that she was protecting the officers without regard for the life that was lost. And in doing this, she was violating not only this basic moral concept, she was breaking the law. The secretary should be investigated right along with those officers who were out there engaged in this ungodly conduct. She should be investigated. And in my opinion, based upon my observation, secretary should not only be investigated, the secretary should be prosecuted right along with those officers. This man did not brandish. This man was not armed. This man did not attempt to hurt those officers. They should all be prosecuted. And you, persons associated with the Trump
Gentleman's time.
administration, say lock her up. I say lock her up.
Green pushes the witness to explain why that restraint matters. And the answer that emerges is key. Without full facts, any statement risks biasing the outcome. That's the moment where the principle becomes clear. Not commenting prematurely isn't about avoiding responsibility. It's about preventing harm to the truth-finding process. Once that principle is firmly established, Green makes his move. He shifts attention to Kristi Noem and argues that she violated the very standard the witness just defended. According to Green, Noem made definitive claims about the incident involving Alex Pretty before a full investigation had taken place, specifically alleging that the victim was armed and posed a threat.